Cool. Thanks. I hope you enjoyed this interactivity, and we can make a start of our main part, which is exactly news, guys. Vast majority of you voted um, for news. So let's see what news we have for today. Let's go through them. And probably the most interesting one is Microsoft has published the vision of .NET 9. So I know that .NET 8 is only released recently, but it's already .NET 9 time. So during the whole year, we will see a lot of upgrades in .NET 9, all the previews, all the new features and capabilities, and we will definitely go through all of them to see what will come in. So this article is like just a vision of .NET 9. So what to expect, what will be the main focus from Microsoft in this release, and really nothing shocking is here. So they are promising to continue investing into the cloud native behavior of the .NET platform and intelligent app development. I'm not really sure what does it mean, intelligent app development. What they mean under that?
Maybe related to Copilot. Yeah.
Copilot?
Maybe.
AI, yeah. So they promise some integration with artificial intelligence. They will bring some primitives to unblock .NET for some use cases with AI. But I think it would be quite hard to compete. Yeah.
I would say what the intelligence stands that it's based on data. So like business intelligence, when it started, it was on data chunks. So if it's guided by big amounts of data, then it's intelligent app.
Okay. Maybe. So they will continue the journey for native AOT, which actually appeared, I think, in .NET 7. So in .NET 8, it became much more mature and probably ready to use in some project workload. What else? So container apps development, and obviously they are promising to continue contributing to like .NET MAUI, ASP.NET Core, Blazor, F# features, and so on. So what is really interesting in this article that there will be no posts on devblogs.microsoft.com anymore. So all the release notes will be published on GitHub discussions. So you will not see here these articles. And if you wanted to stay in touch with the upgrades happening in the previous versions, you need to start tracking the GitHub repositories.
Actually, it's not quite true, because recently they posted announcement for Preview 2, and in Preview 2 they received very harsh feedback that such announcements are impossible to use. They contain a lot of cross links, hard to navigate, hard to get any information. You can open any of them and see by yourself, it's like where to look at, where is the information. Discussion, release notes, no.
Let's try to go through, let's say, what runtime updates happen in .NET 9 Preview 2. So several new runtime features, rigid improvements, ARM64 vectorization, and here we have runtime release notes. Okay, so that's probably not the best one. Yeah, I agree. So it's quite hard. So here, what's new in .NET 9?
It's overall for .NET 9, not for Preview 2.
Not for Preview 2. Okay. Yeah.
So they say that after this feedback, they reconsider the decision that in Preview 3, they most probably will get back to previous format of announcements with dev blocks and human readable pages instead of this cross-link madness.
So yeah, anyway, what's here? Loop optimizations, inlining improvements for native IoT, PGO, which is profile-guided optimization improvements, type checks and casts, and ARM64 vectorization in .NET libraries, which is kind of cool because, for example, ARM64 is what is actually proposed by AWS. So they have like virtual machines on ARM64, which are like very good. They are cheaper and brings like in most workloads better performance. So they're really good in multi-threaded applications. In a single thread, they are losing a little bit, but because they are cheaper and quite fast, so that's a good addition. Yeah, I would agree. That's not the way how I would prefer to see all these updates.
Yeah,
So,
actually looking at the description of these updates, it seems like I don't remember how big they were in .NET 8, but seems like they're smaller than previously. They
yeah,
contains
maybe
only a few points and like, okay, what else? What you did for a month? Only this?
yeah, maybe it's because of the fact that .NET 9 will not be a long-term support, so maybe that's why they prefer to postpone some of the really cool features to .NET 10.
Well, maybe
Okay,
they just focusing on stability, at least for now.
that can be true. So in ESPN Core, not really a lot of updates, so probably you will. That's not something that you really waited for a long time. Yeah, just some minor tweaks and entity framework preview 2. It's all about just improvements, like improved queries, improved model building, and improved tooling. So like, just improvements.
I think that first improvement was kind of cool. We mentioned that inline queries, sometimes we had to execute a few queries in .NET
Okay.
8, and now they optimize that, so you will execute only one query in some of those concrete cases. But that's
yeah.
2x performance.
Yeah, I agree. So cool that you noticed that. Yeah, I agree. So actually we had a question where like the second one was about the version of .NET, and we saw that a lot of people are still on .NET 8. So that's probably the most popular. That was if I'm not mistaken, it was the most popular. But a lot of people have started. Sorry, .NET 6. .NET 6 was like the most popular ones. However, a lot of people started adopting .NET 8, right? So .NET 6 is still under the active usage, and on our project, for example, we still have vast majority of the Lambdas, of the applications that are running in a Kubernetes that are still on .NET 6. And so it's 2 years past since we started adapting it, and we still time to time we notice like a really strange and unexpected behaviors of this runtime, and one of them was noticed like a couple of weeks ago on our project, and I really want to share our findings because probably vast majority of you were not aware about that. So actually .NET 6 has one significant issue with a garbage collector in the environments where we have a limited amount of memory. The problem with .NET 6 is that it can't dynamically refresh the limits of the memory available, and because of that, in let's say in such environments as containers applications or Lambdas or Azure functions, .NET just can't recognize the proper amount of memory available, and because of that, the garbage collector started behaving in a completely different way. It started like collecting the objects, the disposed objects, in much like not so often as you would expect, and because of that, in some of the workloads, you may face even out of memory issues. And like I was really surprised that like, for example, on AWS, they just posted about that as an article, and so you need to invest some time in order to find this article and discover this behavior. While in production, you may see like out of memory errors in the cases where the code is okay, so everything is okay with your code, but because you have like Lambda and you have a limited amount of memory available, and because of the incorrect detection of the amount of memory, the garbage collector will not behave very well in that case. So for example, that's what we face. So we have on our project Lambdas that are responsible for parsing quite large files, and because of like all these streams that are used inside, and because of a lot of the files processed in parallel way, time to time we noticed out of memory errors, so we had to increase the amount of memory allocated per lambda. And eventually we discovered that article that the problem is actually with .NET, not with our code. We thought something wrong with our code. Then we realized that that's not the truth. So here, actually, in this article, AWS tells that, okay, so .NET is not very good in detecting the memory. That's about .NET 6. And you may really face out of memory error, and the container or Lambda will be shut down. Here actually they propose a solution. Actually, there is a way how to fix that behavior and tell the .NET the exact amount of memory available. So you need actually to set an environment variable, which is .NET GC heap hard limit. And by setting this environment variable, the garbage collector will be able to detect the memory, because actually it's not detection. You told it that you have, let's say, 512 megs of memory, and then the garbage collector will start behaving like it has exactly 512 megs. While if you don't do that, then it will start thinking that you have more memory, and it will do the collection of the garbage much rare. So because of that, you may face out of memory. So if you are still on .NET 6 and you have Lambdas, so by just fixing that, like it's a very small change, you can like push this environment variable, and you will see that in most of the cases where you had to increase the amount of memory available for your Lambda, you will see that you don't need such amount of memory, so you will be able to have some savings because of that, because the memory that you allocated for your Lambdas will be converted eventually into the money that you will have to spend for Lambda executions. Like same for containers, however. So if you are on ECS, then you can push hard limits right on the container definition. So that's really interesting finding, and I can like do a really I can demonstrate that that's true. So I have a Lambda application with .NET Code inside, and I actually pushed exactly this code. So into the ASP.NET Core application hosted in Lambda, I allocated 512 megs of memory for this Lambda. And in the code is like simple. It's one endpoint that returns total available memory bytes. So I have Swagger here. Okay, so I can execute. And let's see. So that's not 512 megs, right? That's like 150 megs more than I really allocated. So because of that, garbage collector behaves incorrectly. It thinks that there is more memory available, while in reality it's not like that. So because of that, if you have a workload that like really consumes some memory, you may have out of memory errors, even in the totally correct code. That's a really fun thing, right? Something that you probably didn't expect.
Yes, I'm just curious, is it a problem directly with .NET, or how AWS structure their, resources for the Lambda? Not clear, actually. It is not happening for the real, for the bare metal PC, right? And that's the problem only in the cloud.
It's a problem where you have like some limits because of the containers, because of the like software limitations of the memory, let's say like that. Yeah.
I could info on that more depth. So firstly, it's not a .NET 6 problem. It's just a .NET and AWS problem, and it's still not fixed. So you just have workarounds. And the problem is that .NET can only see processor's memory. And you can specify processor's memory in some cases, but you can specify memory limits in upper levels. and .NET can only interact with some places. So if you did not check the memory limit on that concrete place where the .NET can see it, then it won't get the proper value. So for example, if you create a Lambda, but over the Lambda you have some hard limit set in, .NET won't know about that. It will check just the Lambda's memory settings, and it might think that, okay, you wanted to limit it to 500 megabytes, but I only can see 4 gigabytes. So my garbage collector is configured for 4 gigabytes of memory. And now you have 500 megabytes. You already took 450 megabytes, but I'm fine because you're still far from 4 gigabytes. And that's when you will crash because you will take 500 megabytes and out of memory exception will hit you in prod.
Yeah. So actually on our project, by setting this variable to our Lambdas, we were able to reduce like maybe 2 times per Lambda the amount of memory allocated. And that's obviously money savings. And also we fixed these out of memory issues that we had. So that's really interesting thing. So so Dominic, you are right, but in .NET 8 they introduced one interesting feature of the garbage collector. So garbage collector can dynamically adjust the memory limits. So we have this gc.refreshMemoryLimit method, which tells the GC to adjust its behavior according to new limits. And that actually works everywhere except Windows x86 and Linux ARMs. On 32-bit platforms, actually. That doesn't work on 32-bit platforms, which is a very rare use case of .NET probably nowadays. And actually in .NET 8, because of this gc.refreshMemoryLimit, actually AWS was able to tune their Lambda runtime, and now in .NET, if you upgrade your application to .NET 9 and run it inside the Lambda, then you will not see that issue. Actually, the support of the .NET Lambdas for .NET 9, .NET 8 has just only happened. Actually, I have here so I don't put this link to the release of .NET Lambda runtime for .NET 8, but yeah, it was just released a couple of days ago actually, and what I did, I actually prepared another demo with exactly the same Lambda, but upgraded to the new version of .NET Runtime, and it's exactly the same code. And if I execute, okay, so that's still .NET 6. I need .NET 8. This one sec. Okay, copy link. One sec. And here, if I had the memory limit endpoint, so I'll see that in .NET 8, so the amount of max available is detected very precisely. So no issue anymore. So no needs to set this GC hip hard limit environment variable anymore. So 2 ways if you are using .NET in your Lambdas or Azure functions. One is to set this .NET GC hip hard limit, or another is just to upgrade to .NET 8. Okay, so I promised demo. That was a demo.
Yeah, try to pay attention to those topics as assessment. People really like to ask you about garbage collector. So if you remember this, you can just repeat it during assessment. It will pass the garbage collector topic.
Okay, yeah, agree. So we still have a few more topics to share. There was also an ask about Blazor, and here what I would like to share with you. This is a Fluent UI Blazor project supported by Microsoft. I know that we have other community projects, but why I really like this one? Like, first of all, it is supported by Microsoft, and second, it looks really nice. So here you will see a lot of really nicely looking components, icons, layouts, comprehensive documentation, how to use it in your Blazor project, and all these things look really good. I really like this design. This for at least for kind of internal applications. That's like something that I would like to bring. So if you remember, we had some problems previously, like in the very first releases, we had some problems with file uploads. Now we have these components that look really nice, that allows you to like do stream, buffering, upload, like all these behaviors. Drag and drop is possible here. Obviously, we have here what we have. We have grids. We probably do have grids. Where is the grid? Data grid. Yeah, this one. Also looks really nice. Pagination is here. So a lot of like out-of-the-box components that you can use for building your applications with Blazor. All these things supported by Microsoft. Themes are supported. Yeah, that's cool. I like
Yeah, it
this.
looks very handy, especially if you are building some admin utility, admin app, for example. That's super good.
Yeah, agree. And once again, so that's all.
And I would say that it looks much better than this material UI that I don't like at all.
But okay, so that's not a material UI. That's a Fluent UI. Okay, that's
Right.
different.
Material UI from Google.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Anyway, that's like really nice project. So if you are considering to use Blazor now, you have one more reason to do that. Okay, a few more topics. So this one, I really like this article because this shows how the features of .NET unblock some interesting scenarios for .NET use cases. So for example, in this article, there is a long story about using .NET for building GitHub actions and how native IoT helped a lot to improve a particular GitHub action that was used internally. So this person is from Microsoft, and they had an action, GitHub action, which is a CI/CD thing from GitHub. And in this article, he tells the story how native IoT helped to optimize that that scenario. So first of all, he pointed some attention to some things that you can do even without the AUT. Then how the native IoT compilation helped to reduce the footprint of the application and reduce the amount of to make the container where the application is packaged became much more smaller. Also, there is an interesting conversation. There is an interesting part about the interacting with GitHub API through the OctaKit project. So, and how they fixed OctaKit in order to make it native IoT compatible. So that's like a really nice article that shows how new features of .NET unblocks some of the workloads that we didn't consider before. What else? Yeah, so we have this one. It's about the .NET Core, ASP.NET Core metrics and Grafana dashboards. So you know that you're probably all aware that now we have .NET OpenTelemetry SDK that can export your data to make it available for Prometheus or Azure Monitor, and because you have now this way to export your data with this, you can build Grafana dashboards, and there are like already built dashboards for showing all the ASP.NET Core metrics, and all the metrics once you add the .NET package for OpenTelemetry, all the metrics of ASP.NET Core will be there. and you can just download the Grafana dashboard and add to your Grafana application and see all these ASP.NET Core metrics. Like there are a lot of them. That's quite handy, and all this now provided by the community to you. That's cool. And yeah, probably the last one. That's a small bonus. This is a source of .NET project, and that's a very handy tool to explore the source code of the .NET assemblies or .NET classes. There is a very fast search. For example, let's say you wanted to explore the list class and you wanted to see how it is implemented. So you can find it really quickly, explore its methods, see the internal implementations, and probably make some adjustments to your code.
Which I like here, it supports click navigation. I mean, you can click a method here.
Okay.
It will navigate you to implementation. And also it can be switched to a different view to show the project. In the top right corner, you'll see a few icons. Yes, it will switch the left side view to project. It will open the actual solution where this is implemented, because basically this site is generated based on the source code which is available on GitHub, and you can see the real structure of .NET Core solution.
Yeah, so yeah, I agree. So that's a really nice project. Yeah, that's not new, as Andrei noticed that, but maybe not everyone was aware about that. So
right. Yep.
Because like browsing GitHub source code might not be very handy, and also navigation in GitHub. So they improved a lot, but still, like not very good. Not something that you will enjoy. Yeah. So okay, that's all that we wanted to share with you guys. I hope you enjoyed all that you saw and you heard. So thanks everyone for attending. Guys, any last words from you?
Perhaps one smallest feature which I really liked, when you will be debugging dictionaries in .NET 9, you will see the name of a key, not just index. So I did like that because I used to hate it that you had to go through indexes and search for your entry in the dictionary. And now you won't have to do that anymore.
Okay. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't test it. Is it available somewhere in the fresh version?
I don't think yet. I did not check, but I think they just mentioned it because it was not here a few days ago, and it appeared when I checked same links yesterday.
Okay.
Cool. All right. So thanks everyone, guys. Have a nice day.
A nice one.
Have a raised hand.